let's continue this. We'll bring in Congressman Byron Donalds of the great state of Florida, increasingly influential congressman. Byron, you've probably been following all this. You know what? It's funny. We can talk legal, but it's more fun to talk politics about this. Trump is still standing, and he's going to give a speech tonight in Mar-a-Lago. At least that's the schedule. And he'll have a lot to say in that speech, but I'll bet you he's going to talk some about his achievements and some about what he would do if he were reelected to make America great again. But most of all, Byron, he is still standing, okay? And I think that's damn important.
I agree with you, Larry. He is still standing. He's not going to take this lightly. I talked to him a couple days ago. He was not happy, obviously, but I mean, you know Donald Trump like I do. He's a fighter. He's not going back down from this kind of stuff. So for the people on the Democrat side of the aisle, the radical left, who think that this is the final thing to get Trump, guess again. He's only going to push back stronger. I just wish I was going to be in Mar-a-Lago tonight to hear the speech personally.
Well, let's fly down there. Come on, we'll get one of those NetJet things and just you and I go down together. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Of course I'm allowed to go down. What do you want to hear him say?
That's too rich for my blood. I got to decline. I got to decline real quick, Larry. House ethics. I can't join you on that. Oh, God,
I forgot. I know. I can barely buy you a Diet Coke anymore. Well, that was in. I was in there a couple of years ago. It was the same problem. That's why I starved and ate into my savings. Anyway, that's subject for another segment. Byron, what would you like to see the president mention tonight? Your guy, you have great judgment and good political feel. What should he be talking about?
First thing is, I mean, obviously, there's probably some things with his attorneys he can't get into specifically. But what I would mention generally is that you cannot have a system where we're going after political opponents just because you want to play gotcha. That's not America. Now, if there's something tangible, well, then that's a different story for another day. Nobody's above the law. But what's happening is outrageous. And then right after that, I go straight to the agenda. Joe Biden has failed this country. House Republicans have already uncovered the fact that his family took $1 million that we can now verify from a Chinese company, divvied up amongst the family. Is Joe Biden compromised? Look at our southern border. Look at inflation. You know, when he was president, everybody's 401k was looking good. Small business owners were doing well. Minorities were earning more than they ever had in this country. People were getting ahead in America, and the radical left were so deranged. They wanted to get Trump so badly. Look at what's happened to the everyday American. I think I would focus on that. That's where I would go.
Me too. I call it Make America Great Again. You know, Byron, I just want to go back to this OPEC production cut, OPEC Plus, which means Saudi Arabia and Russia. They're equal partners in this production cut. They waited for that announcement, Byron, just a day or two after Alvin Bragg announced Trump's indictment. You think that was a coincidence? Indictment, Banana Republic, make America look awful, Joe Biden does nothing, and then here come the Arabs come out, and then they're going to cut production by over 1 million barrels, drive oil up to $100 a barrel, help finance Vladimir Putin, and still Biden says nothing about that. Now, I wouldn't mind seeing Trump talk a sentence or two about that, but what do you think about that? I don't think there are any coincidences in life.
No, look, I got to agree with you, especially in politics and geopolitics. There's very little coincidences. I mean, look, this production cut might be great for them. It's going to be bad for Americans. You're going to see energy prices rise. And we're still dealing with this inflation that Joe Biden unleashed on the American people. It's going to make matters worse. You couple that with the fact that now banks are starting to tighten their lending for their reasons, and in some respects, I understand why they're starting to tighten lending. You have Federal Reserve raising interest rates. This is going to have a negative impact on our economy here at home. And Larry, the worst part is it can all be avoided. All Joe Biden has to do is reverse his silly energy policy that says we got to be green while the Chinese and the Russians are pumping more oil, pumping more gas. They're building nuclear reactors. They like coal. They want to corner the world on energy while we want solar panels and windmills. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
Byron, you see what Janet Yellen said, the alleged Treasury Secretary. She said the misnamed Inflation Reduction Act. Do I get that right? Yeah, Inflation Reduction Act, which it wasn't. She said, guess what? Wait for it. Hold on a second. It was really a climate bill. Don't you love that? Had nothing to do with inflation. And then one of the Wall Street firms repriced it. It's not costing $300 or $400 billion. It's costing $1.2 trillion, which is more inflation for a climate bill that was supposed to be an inflation reduction bill. I mean, how utterly stupid is that?
Listen, Larry, we knew it when they were moving it through the House. We kept telling the media, stop calling it this silly name that the Democrats gave it, because they are lying to you. That bill was the Green New Deal's little brother. That's what that bill really was.
Yes.
The radical Democrats wanted more. They wanted more stuff, if you could believe that. But the subsidies in that bill are going to be far more expensive. The tax increases on oil production is going to be far more onerous, and Americans are the ones who suffer. And look, it's poor Americans, white, black, Hispanic. It is middle-income Americans, Republican, Independent, Democrat. They are the ones who suffer under this nutty policy. And so we have to actually reverse course in this country. It makes no sense. And it's about time Janet Yellen actually said something that made sense, because the first 2 years of her being Treasury Secretary, she's not made any sense at all.
You know, Congressman Donalds, if I may, the little brother of the Green New Deal, you know how good that is? I'm going to have to take that. I got to have to appropriate that. And I will give you credit.
It's all yours.
I'm going to give you some credit the first time I appropriate it. After that, I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it, Byron Donalds. You are the best of the best. The Green New Deal's little brother. I just love that. Anyway, can't thank you enough for weighing in this evening. Take care.